or Lane Split, if anybody doesn't know, these are the guys that Mary and I were running into on the way down to Born Free last year, Born Free 7, like all the way down to PCH.
And the year before that too, right?
Well, that was 7. 8 was this year. And we keep running into these guys, and I have this like reference point for like Born Free is like it's like the Guggenheim Museum. Like you look at these bikes and you're like, oh, that's an amazing artist like Michelangelo. He's so incredible, but like I'll never be Michelangelo. But the riders on the way down that you see and the people you run into there, like their bikes seem a little bit more approachable, and it seems like a little bit more like something that you could do. And then not to mention like these guys they're just so crazy because they would roll up like 20 fucking deep with these custom bikes that were like, liquor bottles welded onto the side of them as overflows and brass knuckles this and that. And then they get off the bike and you're like, these guys are probably mean as fuck. And they get off and they're just joking around.
You know why you think they're mean as fuck? Because they're mean mugging because they're miserable on those rigids.
Oh, I know. All right, so...
Right? Am I right, Josh? They're
all software engineers.
The way to be the coolest person on a custom bike is to be the most miserable. That's how you look cool.
They invited us to a barbecue they had last week in San Jose.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh, it was amazing. They're I don't know, their bikes are very mean looking and like really, really cool, but they're just like, I don't know, when you get off the bikes and you hang out with these guys, they're not really the way that they would seem if you see them riding down the road.
So they're not real assholes.
Not at all. They joke around as much as I do, and I was just telling them, I was like, you guys got to come to the garage and come hang out with us. And I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Mary, what did you think? Were they...
Oh, they're really sweet people. How many people were there? We're going to say maybe
like 35, 40.
Yeah.
You gotta
and they just have really cool, awesome, custom-made bikes. And most of them are Honda Shadow 750. And, they just make them look all so different. And, yeah, they had like a little biker build-off. Started with a ride. And Mike had his bike in the competition as well. His new Lucky Charms. It was funny because okay, so when we rolled up at the barbecue, I was looking at all the bike and I was trying to pick out my favorite one, but then I realized, hey, I can't just look at the bike. I need to listen to it.
Because they had a People's Choice vote too.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, each and every one of you guys individually, turn the bike on, let's hear it. And I was like, whoa, wow, I didn't expect that sound to come out of that one. And all of a sudden my favorite changed because I was liking this bike, but then when I heard the sound of this other bike, it was obviously so much meaner. And then when it came to Mike's bike, I was like, okay, sure, come on, turn your bike on.
I didn't want to do it.
He didn't even want to turn it on because, his bike is, grandpa silent, really...
Did it go like this? Did it go?
Too smooth.
That's what it does.
No, that's exactly what it does. That's what mine does.
It's like, speaking of zero bikes, I swear to God, my bike is a zero, except for the fact that it's not electric. It's a silent ride, and it was embarrassing when I went there because I didn't want to do the sound off. I didn't because they had custom pipes. And
that was an actual event, like a sound.
It was like a thing.
Well, I kind of made it. I made it happen. I was like, let's have a sound off here.
Yeah. Okay.
I was. I kind of thought the theme of my build was kind of trying to make it kind of still look a little factory, clean. So I wanted to keep the pipes and not fuck with the Honda engineering, which is kind of not that cool if you're doing a custom bike, but to me it is. So, but then when you're doing a sound off, and I'm riding around with them, I was riding around with them today and shit. I was like, damn, you guys fucking bikes sound like hot rods, and it sounded like my old bike. I knew how I felt, but I also remember how I felt in the morning when I'd warm the fucking bike up in the morning.
This is a group of guys. They've been in here before. Last time they were mostly working with Shadows, Honda Shadows.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this year there was a bunch of the shovel heads. Yeah. And they're doing really cool things.
Totally customized, yeah.
Totally
real
customized.
Real rat-rotted out, real cool car tires and shit.
Oh, yeah. It looked really good. I mean, what you guys are doing is you're taking a Honda Shadow and you're making it look like a vintage Harley chopper. Well, except for that Honda on the side, it was a really good homage to those classic Harleys.
And one thing we didn't talk about, we talked about customizing the current Harleys and everything you can do, but when you look at the amount of things that people do to the old Harley, it's pretty amazing. And
oh my God, yes.
The Lane Split Boulevard guys, check them out on Instagram if you can. What they're doing, it's real rat-roddy and it's real just dudes doing their thing, but it's cool and it's true artwork. And it's guys doing this stuff with their bare hands. But, to see the way these guys customize the old Harleys, to me, is just even way more exceptional than you see them do now.
Sure.
And the food was really good. Fried chicken was awesome.
What? There was fried chicken?
Oh, dude.
yeah.
With
Y'all didn't invite me?
jalapenos.
God damn it.
Oh, with jalapenos, it was wicked.
I would have been over the hill.